I didn't get prepped on any of this.
It's okay. You don't need to be prepped.
Great.
Welcome to Knocked Up After the Shot. I am Justin, and David is finally with us. He lives. He's busy, but he lives.
He came into town.
He flew.
Say hi.
He lived 8 minutes from me, and he flew into town. Oh, today we're actually going to drink, unlike the last couple that we've done, Smoke Wagon Small Batch Straight Bourbon Whiskey from Las Vegas.
Oh,
From Las Vegas?
He distills in Las Vegas. So, actually, I'm sorry. I should say he finishes in Las Vegas. So this is MGP.
He finishes in Las Vegas.
Most people do.
What
this
happens
is
in
sourced.
Vegas stays in Vegas.
Mm-hmm. This is sourced bourbon, and then he does his thing. So
I used to pour my drink and not have the logo of the glass.
All right. Well, my glass is a little.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
So yeah, he has cool bottles. They're really cool bottles.
Yeah, it is pretty sick.
But he does a lot of different things. I haven't gotten any of the
100 proof.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any of the rare stuff. But his small batch is very popular.
What's it doing?
Tastes good.
It's Friday, so anything tastes good to David.
I don't discriminate on any day of the week, anything tasting good. You know, I really don't get a whole lot on the nose.
So hot.
You think?
Yes.
I think that Larsen's hotter than this.
I think it's good. I don't have a problem with it, but I think it's hot.
Well, it's a good thing we're not drinking the uncut then. Unfiltered.
Yeah, I'm a little girl when it comes to that. I can't handle that. It's good. Don't get me wrong. I don't know what I'm tasting though.
So... I get a lot of vanilla.
I do taste a lot of vanilla.
But it's not sweet vanilla like TX.
No, I can't stand that stuff.
Subtle. Like a subtle vanilla. Not a whole lot of oak. But on the nose, I don't get much other than just regular alcohol. Smell.
Yeah, that's all I get. I get my smell back, pretty much.
Oh yeah? It's back?
Well, I mean, here and there. But I can smell it now. But yeah, it's vanilla-y.
So I don't got to worry about getting sprayed by a skunk because you'll be able to smell it?
I'll let you know.
Boy.
Yeah, it's a lot of vanilla. It's good, though.
Yeah. That's
no problem with it.
It's a little pricey.
I don't remember what we paid for this. You probably bought it.
Well, I say that. The small batch isn't that pricey. It's usually $35, $40. But the uncut is in the $60 range. It's the higher proof, uncut, unfiltered. And a lot of people, you know, that are into the higher proof bourbons dig it. It's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah. But you had it at my house once. You thought it was too hot.
I think most things are too hot, so.
But, yeah, it's a good.
This.
I spilled there.
That's okay.
I'm going to spill on it.
No, you're not going to spill on it.
Okay.
You'll be fine. Test.
Yeah, it works.
We're all official. All we need is a whistle right now.
I don't like it.
No, you like it.
Making me wear jewelry. I don't dig it at all.
Jewelry?
It does nothing for the shape of my head. No. I'm sorry.
It just looks like a big bald pumpkin.
I hope everybody had a happy Halloween.
Mm-hmm. Happy Halloween. This episode's coming a little late. I wish we would have done it a few weeks ago when bow season started, but it be what it be. We were busy and had other things to do. But anyway, onward and upward. You already said how much it was.
Yeah.
I'm going over my list.
Oh, okay.
Today we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of hunting. I haven't prepped David on any of this. He hasn't read any of this, so I'm going to talk about do's and don'ts. David's going to give me his opinion.
I can talk to the don'ts.
Yeah, we can talk to the don'ts pretty easy. So
I'm not sure about the do's.
Like always, the do. I don't know what to do, but I know what not to do.
Because I've done it. You don't want to do it again.
First thing is first, the trivia question from the last podcast, which to you guys is like a month ago because we've had videos come in and it's hunting season. That's just how it works. So, how many years does a black bear live in the wild in the United States? I'm getting throwbacks from the black bear episode that I did. But
That was a question?
that was a question. Do you know? I've told you the answer. Don't read the answer.
What was the question again? I can't read that. I don't have my glasses. Can't see that.
On average, how many years does a black bear live in the wild in the United States?
Well, that question seems weird because...
Why? Why?
You say in the wild. Do they live anywhere else? I mean, I don't... You mean like
In
not
zoos?
in a zoo? Okay.
Yeah, not in a zoo or in like
I don't recall the answer to that question.
30 years in the wild. Moach. Words already kicking in. Most.
Seriously? They live to be 30 years old?
Yeah.
No.
Most won't reach it. However, they can get that old in remote areas with low hunting pressure. 30 years old. So I guess my question is kind of...
It's
a bad question because I said how many years does a black bear live in the wild? That's probably, you're probably thinking average, but
Yeah.
realistically can live up to 30 years in a low hunting pressure situation where they're the apex predator.
Interesting.
So as old as me. There's a bear out there as old as me right now.
It's probably bigger than you, though.
Probably. I'd like to find him, meet him, have a conversation,
And then kill him.
sit on him when he's in rug form, not in live form. Razor's Edge event of the day. Opening day of bow season in whitetail started October 1st. We are way past that now, but opening day of hunting season starts tomorrow. Tomorrow?
No, it started.
What is today? November 4th. Yeah.
Starts tomorrow. Rifles tomorrow?
I think rifle starts tomorrow. I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but fun fact, Texas has over 1 million registered hunters, the most of any state. 1 million people registered to hunt in Texas. Not all of them are archers, so you can assume that October 1st was busy in Texas, but even busier starting now. Good luck, all the whitetail hunters, even though we're going bow hunting. So
Yeah.
How many of those registered hunters do you think are? I'm not gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna say like us, like archery only. I mean, like we would shoot a rifle, but how many do you think of them? I don't have the answer to that. Just conversation.
That's a small figure.
I'd agree with that. I'd say less than 10%.
Yeah, I mean, they may shoot both, and they may say I bow hunt, and they take it out once in October, and then rifle season hits,
Right.
and they're right into
Right.
it. I got a buddy of mine right now. He's mad because he tried to bow hunt twice, and now everybody's going to be on the lease this weekend that's a rifle hunter. So he's like, I got to take my rifle out. And he had a really nice 10 coming in, and it was coming to his rifle stand, not his bow stand. He's like, I don't want anybody else to shoot it, so I'm going to have to go kill it with a fucking rifle. Oh, sorry. Language.
It's all good.
So that's disappointing because he shot another buck. He hunts in 2 counties at a buddy's house, and he shot a nice buck,
Really?
2 weeks ago, and he's never shot a buck in each county in a year with the bow. That's really what he was trying to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say, man, now that you say that, there's probably a lot of bow hunters out there that take the bow first weekend of October and are like, man, I didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Pull the rifle out because they're bow hunters.
Yeah. Goes right back into the case.
Yeah. So anyway,
So we're true bow hunters because we don't even take the rifle anymore. We're just like, it's either going to happen or it's not.
I probably need to dust out the inside of the barrel. That's how old my gun is from shooting.
I would like to do some long range shooting, like
I would,
on
but
a mule deer.
I can't do
or
it with
a
my setup.
pronghorn, or not a pronghorn. What are they called?
They're called pronghorn.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Those are animals.
Yeah. Up north.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree with you there. I just don't think I could use my rifle in a long range 400 or 500 yard setup. I mean, it's a 270, but like I'd have to get a better scope and really practice my ammunition. I'm not versed enough into the gun world in order to know what to do there, but whatever.
Yeah, I got another buddy that does, Justin knows him, he does gunsmithing, and I was talking to him about...
Oh, does he? Well, I know he does, but you were talking to him about like long range stuff?
Yeah, and I've got a 300 Weatherby, and I was thinking, go ahead and... All right, calm down. I am not the bartender.
You put it on your side.
That's so I could have it as soon as I needed
it. Exactly.
But yeah, I'm going to do a muzzle brake and a trigger job on mine just so that I can try to be more consistent with my shot placement. I think I jerk a little.
Man, I haven't shot a rifle in... I honestly don't think I've pulled my 270 out of my gun cabinet in 2+ years.
Since that one?
I did shoot that with a rifle. Yep. In 2+ years.
Yep.
That one, well, you can't really see his rack.
Here, look at the reflection off my...
Yeah. It's a cool one because it's like half and the other one's broken off.
Yeah,
but he's good. I shot him with... Yeah, that was like 2 years.
He was a scrapper. I think it was more than 2 years.
Well, I mean, I was talking about just shooting my rifle.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think I took the 270 down to that ranch whenever Jess and I went and hunted, and I shot guns because I wanted to sight in.
To shoot.
Yeah, and I think I shot it then.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to actually kill something with it was that. And it was probably 3 years, 3.5 maybe.
Yeah, I did shoot a deer at that point as well. It was the last day, bad weather, we needed meat, right? It was a slower year.
I mean, there's no shame in it for sure. There's just a...
But I don't think I'd used a rifle for at least a decade before that.
A decade?
Mm-hmm. For deer.
Yeah.
I've been hardcore on the bow. But I've had great opportunities with Volkrod and LJ Blessings Ranch. I mean, that's where we're going next week.
Next week, yeah. We'll get another podcast next week. We're going to do another one for sure with everybody there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the only gun I shoot anymore is a shotgun.
Yeah.
And half the time I'm throwing those out windows. So
they work better if you're holding them correctly when you pull the trigger.
Yeah. That's a story for a different day, though. Yeah.
Actually, I've got some video I've got to download with my man here on a pheasant hunt. So hopefully you guys will see a little pheasant reel here pretty soon.
I figured out how to do that to the PC from your iPhone. And it goes a lot smooth and it goes a lot faster. So after we're done recording, it's a game changer because I know we took the Canon on the bear hunt and I think it was cool, but just the easeability of the phone. I mean, unless I've got anybody out there wants to be a dedicated videographer editor.
Looking for Bethany. Where's she at?
Come on with it. I'm about it, but it's just easier for us to do it with our phones because we got all the mounts and everything. Like this is on iPhone right now and it looks great. All the mounts and everything like that, and it just anyway, so we're gonna get that going. Another bit of handiwork we're gonna have new signage and intros coming out, and probably more podcasts at the beginning of the year because hunting season is over. You're getting a lot of videos on YouTube right now and TikTok and Instagram and all that sort of stuff because it's hunting season, but soon it's going to be a lot of podcasts just because it's just going to be shooting season and that is what it is. So anyway, let's move into the meat of this. We're starting with the do's because the don'ts are going to be way more fun because we're going to have another drink in us.
Seems you've written an essay over here. What is this?
Hey, don't worry about my process.
All right.
Okay, the first do I have is make sure you have the right licenses and paperwork wherever you're hunting. That's a easy one.
Probably.
That's an easy do, and that people overthink. Like if we live in Texas, and when we went out to Arkansas, I did a bunch of research about what license we had to have. If we had a camping license, if we had to have a gun permit to carry a handgun, if we had to do this and that. Like it's an easy phone call to whatever state you're hunting in to make sure you have the right paperwork. Because the last thing you want to do is go out to Arizona, string him back on the biggest mule deer that's ever been seen in mankind, smoke shown at 62.5 yards, and then you got it in the truck, and the game warden's like, oh, you didn't have this $5 license, so we're going to have to confiscate your deer. Will that happen? Probably not, as long as you got other licenses. I mean, being 100% truthful, but just make a phone call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Better safe than sorry.
Amen. Number 2, Deuce. Practice, 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 practice. Bow, rifle, handgun, it cringe when I say crossbow. I just cringe when I say it.
Don't be a hater. It's okay. Some people have a handicap.
That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the able-bodied individuals like you and I who have crossbow. It kills me.
I know, but to each their own. I'm going to be political on this.
This is not what this podcast is about. If people don't want to listen to it because they get butthurt about me saying crossbow hunters are little
sissies.
Yeah, thank you. I was going to say something a lot worse.
I dumbed it down a little bit.
Then don't listen to it. I don't care. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
Practice, gun or bow. You need to send arrows or rounds down range. I would love to say that sending arrows down range is cheaper, but if you miss, it gets expensive quick. So I'm actually doing something I started last week when we were practicing. We're doing my practice sessions, 20, 30 arrows down range until you start to get kind of fatigued or whatever, depending on what you got going on, or a long day of shooting is good to practice, make sure your sight's in. But over the last 3 or 4 days, I'll just walk out into the backyard like every 2 hours, one arrow, throw it into the quarter-sized hole that I got out on the block, and walk back inside, do whatever I need to do.
Sorry.
And then 2 hours later, do the same thing, because the reality of the situation is when you practice, you got to make sure you're in tune. I'm in tune with my stuff, but now I'm practicing for the one shot that I'm going to get. Because you're not going to sit in the blind and be like, oh man, I ran through a quiver and that doe's still standing there. Let me go pick up my arrows and go shoot her again.
Your bill kick.
So practice.
Story for another time. He's mad at me because we haven't practiced it together. He's been practicing.
Whoa.
I have not. And
I don't care if we practice together or not. You need to practice. Because I don't want to be on my hands and knees next Thursday looking for a deer.
I don't either. And I don't plan to be.
Good. All right. Number 3 on the... that one hit me hard. Boy. Number 3 on the dues. If you're hunting on public land, be respectful to other hunters in the area. There's plenty of land for all of us to enjoy if you live anywhere but Texas, because Texas is terrible at public land. But the areas that you do have, you're talking 10, 12, 20,000 acres. If David and I didn't know each other, there's no reason for us to be hunting under the same oak tree, right? Like, don't be that guy. If you're going to wake up at 8 a.m. and walk out into the woods, there's somebody that's been up in a tree since 5. I promise you that in public land. Don't be the guy that goes sits under his tree and doesn't realize he's above you. Like, if you're going to sleep in or if you're not going to do the research, then go out there and, be respectful to the guys that have done the work. And even the guys that have done the work, make sure you be respectful to the guys that are sleeping in. Like, if you sat there and didn't see anything and you want to get down and go spot and stalk, there's highly likely that there's a weekend warrior out there that just showed up 20 minutes ago. There's no reason for you to encroach on his hunt. He didn't encroach on yours, So that's a big do for me.
And if you do sit under that tree and you think it started raining, it's probably not rain.
Yeah, it's definitely not rain. And if you do sit under that tree and the buck walks out, make sure you pull the trigger before he does.
Oh boy. You see 2 arrows coming.
Number 4.
Remember that one.
Know your shot limitations, bow or gun. Again, if you're with a bow and you're like, man, I can shoot a whitetail at 40 yards, no problem, then shoot a whitetail at 40 yards. If that whitetail's standing at 48 yards, don't pull the string. Like, you've got it. Are you getting a different one? Yeah. Don't pull the string. It's as simple as that. Like, there's no other way to say that. If you consistently practice, like, we have a buddy, JC. You guys, I don't know if you guys know JC, but you'll probably see him in video. JC.
You'll see him in next week's video.
Right. JC practices tried and true anything under 30 yards.
This is a good one.
Anything under 30 yards, smoke show. but he has 2 pins on his sight, 20 and 30 yards. Does he have other pins below that? Yeah, but we haven't practiced out farther yards because he just started getting into bow hunting. If there's a deer at 42 yards, I can promise you JC is not pulling that string back until that deer gets into about 27, 28 yards. I can guarantee it. So just don't do it, because if you miss or make a bad shot, you're going to feel worse than if you just waited to see if the deer was going to come closer or tried to get closer to the deer.
Agreed.
It's not that hard. I mean, it is that hard. I say it's not that hard.
You get eager.
Especially if you're spot and stalking, you get super eager because you're like, man, I spent all day trying to look for this deer or elk, and he's at 77 yards, and I think I can make that shot, but I'm really only feel comfortable to 65. Am I going to take it or not? Everybody's got their own personal vendettas, right? But I don't know. Just make sure you know what you're doing. Last do that I have before we get into the fun don'ts, and it is the biggest pet peeve I have.
What do I do?
The biggest pet peeve I have about any land, private, public, your own freaking backyard, the QT down the street. Respect the land and animals. If you pack it in, pack it out. I do not care if it's a biodegradable nutritional bar thing that you throw. Screw you. Screw the guy that I walk up on that I'm like, I feel like sitting here and making a ground blind, and I see a Miller Lite can. How hard is it to throw the crumpled up can back in your pocket if you're not packing a backpack out? I could spend 45 more minutes on this. Like, it's not hard, man. Like, just do it. Like, respect the land, respect the animals, and then we can all use it.
Yep.
It's easy.
Yeah, I'd like to be the guy that walks out there, finds this awesome spot, kills this great buck, and think, man, nobody's ever been here before. I looked into this.
Yeah.
Not find a bunch of fucking beer cans.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. You go out to this great spot you find, and then there's, like when we went to Arkansas, and we were walking on the path, and it's like, man, this area is beautiful. There's a waterfall right here. You could see where, possible game trails would be and everything like that. And you look over, and somebody's left half their lunch and, a plastic baggie out, and you're like, how long's that been here? Like 20 minutes, and there's no animals, or 3 days, or now you're littered, and then the animal's gonna, like, I just can't stand it, man. Like, I get probably a lot more butthurt about it than most people, but it's
upset.
To me, it's not the act of what you're doing. Is one plastic bag going to ruin the world, or one beer can, or one whatever? Probably not. But it's the act that you're too damn lazy to put it in your backpack.
You carried it out.
Yeah, you carried it full. Okay, let's take a beer can, for instance. You carried it full of liquid, heavy, out into your stand. You drank it, and then you're like, oh, empty. This is really heavy. I don't think I can carry it back out. Fuck you, dude. That's all I got to say about that. We're going to the don'ts, or else I'm going to get way too into it. Woosah. I'm woosahing.
Good idea.
Yeah. All right, the don'ts. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Don't leave the stand too early after you shoot. Kyle kick.
Yeah.
Or don't shoot deer from your stand with a pistol after you make a shitty shot on a deer. Kyle kick.
Yeah. Kyle.
Minimum, what I learned from old Jim Folkrod. The only whitetail knowledge I have is from that man. All right, maybe not only, but like 95% of it. Don't leave the stand too early. Good shot placement. You've got it on video, and you're like, man, smoke showed it. 30 minutes, minimum.
Yep.
Sit there shaking in your boots for 30 minutes, drink your beer, crunch it up, and put it in your damn backpack, and then go look for your deer, right? Gut shots, 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, at least.
Like minimum is what I'm talking about. Minimum. Yeah. If you're not just waiting on it, then you're going to like go somewhere and then come back, right? But minimum 3 to 4 hours. Bad shots, you don't know where it hit, you didn't get it on video, you're not a video guy, you don't feel good about it, overnight. The only exception to the rule is if you see the animal fall. And that's only applicable in like areas, not like where we're hunting, South Texas. That's like, I don't know, like open cornfields of Nebraska or Wyoming, to where you take a 40-yard shot on a deer or something like that, and it's a crappy shot, and 300 yards away you see it fall. Not bed, it's a big difference. Fall. then okay.
Still,
The waiting limit rule, whatever, see the animal expire, that's a whole different ordeal. But you don't see the animal expire, that's it. You're waiting those minimums.
Yep. Be a long wait.
Be a long wait. Like the deer, the buck that David shot, Mama Jamma.
Yeah.
What was it? Did he have a name? Jim
No.
didn't name him? Did you name him?
No.
Come on. We got to name him. We got to give him a name.
The one.
The one and only?
Yep.
It ain't going to be the only, I'll promise you that.
That's all I need. He's gorgeous. He hangs on the wall and has dinner with me every night.
You'll see that buck in, well, you guys are, just, if you follow the YouTube, it's in LJ Blessing's Ranch 2021. You'll see the shot and David and the whole interaction, everything like that, but I actually put a clip in it in the new intro. So you'll see that buck again. But David's smoke show placement, and I guarantee you he was just pissing down his leg for 30 minutes because he knew it was good, but he sat in the stand and then got out.
Yeah, right? I wasn't going to
You
mess that up.
Yeah, I mean, it's too easy not to, because the one time you don't is the one time you don't recover that trophy, right?
Yep.
And you screwed it up. Next one, don't shoot a doe with fawns. I mean, you just don't. It's not hard.
I feel like a lot of timing has to do with that too. Time of the year. Because at some point, late season, they're kicking fawns off. So if it's your
Like
last
late season, like what, though? Like what is late season?
I mean, you're getting to the end of the run. It's probably your last hunt, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're going to start kicking the fawns off, and if you've hunted all year and you hadn't taken home any meat, I'm not going to fault you for taking a doe.
I can fair that. I guess my point was more to, yeah, like deer season runs till mid-January here. If you're sitting January 8th and hadn't seen anything and a doe comes out with a fawn, that fawn is just being way too attached. Should be long gone by then.
Probably not nursing.
That doe might even be pregnant again, honestly. Sometimes. That might be a stretch. But I'm talking about like third week in October, you got the bow out. I'm not shooting a doe with fawns.
No, I wouldn't either.
So.
I wouldn't either.
This one is going to cause some controversy. Don't shoot immature bucks. Now, the controversy lies, where are we hunting?
Right.
We're hunting a place like Jim Folkrot's.
You don't shoot.
You don't shoot immature bucks because that buck's going nowhere. And that's the big thing between high fence and low fence and public and private. So I don't know if you agree with me, but you can give me your opinion in a second. I think if you're hunting high fence private land, that deer is not going anywhere. And the only predation that it has is natural or you with a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You let that deer walk until you feel or know it's reached a peak. 4.5, 5.5, 6.5 years old. Somewhere in there. Depending on the genetics of your land, if you're into that sort of thing. If you're hunting private low fence, I'm going to say, see, I'm a little torn here. Private low fence. A, you're on private, but B, you're also low fence, so those animals could go anywhere. If you're on private low fence of like 20 acres, I'm probably saying screw the immature bucks. 20 acres is not a lot. That deer is traveling.
Yeah.
But if you're on private low fence, like I used to hunt in college, of 1,700 acres, depending on the stand you're sitting at, like if I was sitting at one of those stands that was on a road by the low fence and I kept seeing that deer, I'd be a little weary of that deer jumping low fence. But if I'm in the middle of the property and that deer keeps coming in the camera, it's 1,700 acres. He's not going, he got his realm, right? Yeah. So that's going to depend on location. Public land, I'm throwing it way out the window. It's a ridiculous don't, in my opinion. If it's a legal buck, I'm shooting it.
Yeah.
Agree? Disagree?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that plays into it too that is in consideration is, what does this buck look like? Maybe 2.5, but I mean, it may be trash. It may be something you don't want.
But where are we? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't think that in that instance anywhere we are applies. I mean, if you see a 2.5-year or 3.5-year-old fork come out, why are you going to keep him around?
But is it illegal?
Well, it depends on the county.
Right. But
some counties have stipulations. Got to be 13-inch spread and wider, things like that. But I mean,
but that's my argument. That deer walks out, a little forky, both sides. Would never shoot it on any sort of good hunting ranch. But I've sat in this tree on public land for 2 years, and that's the only buck I've seen. I'm shooting that deer.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think when I say there's a lot to it, it means it's like most likely I would shoot the deer.
Yeah.
You know, the only instances where I'm not shooting a deer are a managed property that has really good genetics. You know, maybe he's a basket buck right now at 2.5, and you know he's going to grow, or you know he's just not to that caliber that the landowner wanting to take. I mean, you're not going to shoot that deer.
Yeah.
But I saw a podcast about how we're hurting our population by not taking these younger deer, because then we're going to gap out. The argument is you're only taking old mature deer, right?
Okay.
And so what's going to happen is it's going to gap out of having shooter bucks until those deer age for 3 or 4 years, depending on the size of the property, obviously.
So you're talking specifically about private land, though.
Yeah.
Like if you had private land.
Control.
But I guess my argument to that would be, if you've got a private lot of land that you're hunting, and you're waiting around for that. I'm taking LJ Blessings out of the mix.
Yeah.
Like just a private lot of land where you've got 3 or 4 deer stands and 100 acres, and you're just Joe blowing it with some friends, right? You know, you're on a lease or whatever.
Is this high or low?
I don't think it matters in my example.
Okay.
But we'll say high just to keep all the variance out of it. All things controlled. Okay. I'm gonna sit there and not take a 3.5, 4.5-year-old buck that's not fully mature and wait on a 5.5, 6-year-old buck because I know that deer's not going anywhere.
Agreed.
But to the argument that you were just talking about, if we don't shoot the youngers, then we have a gap. My argument would be this year, 2022, if I'm sitting in a stand and I shoot a 5.5-year-old deer and pass on a 4.5-year-old deer, well, guess what, Bubba? Next year in November, that deer is going to be 5.5 that I passed, and there's going to be one behind him. So I don't know that
I think, too, it probably depends on the size of the place and the amount of hunters that are hunting it, you know.
For sure.
How many people are trying to look for that trophy that year.
For sure.
I mean, 100 acres in your scenario, I mean, that's 2 hunters tops. Taking trophies.
Tops.
And that's probably after sitting it out a couple of years, letting them become trophies.
For sure. I agree with you. But, I mean, you know, I'm a breaker of my own rule, though, because, like, Ghost downstairs, my shoulder-mounted buck, he was 4.5. My best guess, 4.5 years old. But been hunting that property for 3 years in a row, and that deer never showed up on camera. That's why he called him Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed up randomly when I was sitting there, so I shot him because he was never around and he was mature and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Would I love to let that buck go another couple of years? Maybe, but I'd never seen him before, so He may just been passing through.
Most likely.
And he unfortunately passed through right in front of my bullet.
He passed.
He passed. So I don't know. There's a lot of controversy there.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables and in the moment type of situations, right? Because
larceny.
Yeah, Mr. Weeded over here.
Is this a weeded?
Yeah, it's weeded.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Show me on here where it says weeded. Son of a bitch, weeded burger.
I think he really likes weeds.
I do, man. I got no problem with that. I like the weeded. I like the redemption weeded.
Mm-hmm.
I have another weeded. Could have swore I had another weeded.
Weller.
See, I don't like the weather as much, honestly. There's another one, man. Have you made the... We're totally switching gears. We're not talking about don'ts anymore for just a second.
Don't get sidetracked.
Yeah, don't get sidetracked. Focus on what you're doing. We're piss poor example.
No, I haven't made any 50 or 60-40 yet.
Well, that one's almost gone. We should finish that, and then I can do it.
Okay.
I got it.
You got enough? No.
Is that...
No.
That's what we're mixing, right?
No.
Yeah, that's what we're... 870 and 910.
No.
Or is it 20?
It's the 20 and the 10.
No, it's not 20 and 10. It's
Yeah, it is,
it's
because remember
70.
everybody calls it 1915. That's what everybody calls it. When you do 50,
Well, that
50.
the Old Forester 1870 and the Old Forester 1910 is what's in that.
No, it's not. It was 20 and 10, I promise you. If you followed my instructions correctly.
I probably
It was-
didn't because I like the 1870.
Well, then you done fucked up. All right, back to the don'ts.
Back to the don'ts.
Don't fuck up my instructions when I'm telling you what to mix. It's good, though. Whatever he mixed, now that we don't know, we probably will never do it again, but...
Best bourbon you ever had. Never have it again.
Yeah. So we... Sidebar. I told him 50-50, 19-20, 19-10, Old Forester, and it's supposed to be very similar to their birthday bourbon. He mixed it. Now he's not 100% sure what he mixed. I think it was the 20 because there's not a 20 over here. And I drank a lot of the 20, but I wouldn't have drank the whole bottle.
I don't like
I would.
I didn't like the 20.
It's
very
too
much.
hot for
It's
you.
too hot. I'm a little ninny when it comes to
All
that.
right, move on.
This one seems pretty obvious, but don't hide things or lie to game wardens or landowners. If you
No.
make a mistake or do something you shouldn't have done in the woods while hunting, be a man or woman. I'm okay with that. And own up to it. Most of the time, the game warden can tell if you're being a little shit. And the situation can be a lot better if you just be like, dude, yes, I screwed up. This is what happened.
So what happened was...
Yeah, especially landowners. Landowners get pissy when you start screwing around with their stuff. Game wardens get even pissier because they can do something about it.
Yep.
Just tell the truth. Like, they're going to find out anyway. So just, this is going back to, even Good Samaritan and like daily life with police officers, right? But
For sure.
But definitely with game wardens.
Don't run from police officers.
What's the point?
Unless
you have to.
Well, guess there's a time and a place for everything, but...
Any younger life?
Yeah.
Much younger?
Much younger. So, 1 year, this was many moons ago, just so you know, I've been hunting at folk rods for like 2 decades, so yeah, gray, I'm old, right? But this was...
You could be my dad.
Unfortunately, yes. So anyways, I was saying, I was rifle hunting. This was before I was a bow hunter.
Are you going to tell the story?
I'm going to tell a little story.
I know, but you're gonna tell the story about rifle hunting and shooting 2 deer.
No, I didn't shoot 2 deer.
But you thought.
I thought. So,
it's a good story.
Spoiler alert, I'm sitting here shooting. Hey, I'm on a meat hunt, so I've got my eye on this doe, and it is just crowded with bucks, right? And, I'm up here in the stand, but...
Can I pause you?
Yeah.
For the viewers that haven't seen any of our LJ Blessing stuff, that ranch is like, if a buck walks out, you're either not shooting it because it's too young, because his breed program is ridiculous, or you're shooting it and it's going to cost you $23,000. Like, it's... Yes, he's got other ones like 7, but if you're going to go there, you're going to buy once, cry once. My whole mantra, right? So
if you can afford to do that,
if you can afford to do that, you're gonna do that, right? So when he says buck, I'm not talking about like what you see behind me, little 110, no big deal bucks. I'm talking like civic price point bucks. Okay, now you can continue.
He sells anywhere from a Ford Escort to a Mercedes. You just got to decide what you want to buy.
Bingo.
But I'm looking at all these bucks, and this freaking doe is just doing this, coming down the Sendero to the bottom where the feeder is, and then working her way back up. and it's full, 100% full of deer. And she finally gives me an opportunity, and I shoot her, and she falls, and behind her, I see 2 bucks go down. And
again, bucks.
We're talking, okay, I guess my kid's not going to college, right? That's what I'm thinking right now. And luckily, they just ran into each other, fell over, got up and ran off. And I was, oh, dude, I had never, this went away from Justin's sit and wait rule.
Okay, the sit and wait's out the window with a rifle when that happens.
I came flying out of that stand, sprinted right past that doe to where those bucks fell, and I started looking for blood, going, oh my God, is my life over? I got so lucky.
Oh my goodness.
I got so lucky. Yeah, that scared the shit out of me. It was a funny story we laughed about that night.
Oh my God, is my life over? Oh, any more?
Next don't. Was that the last one?
That's the last. Like I was being kind of 5 and 5 with it, trying to keep it short and sweet. But what do you got? What do you got, don't?
Again, I was
putting you on the spot.
I was not prepped.
I'm putting you on the spot. Next time, I'll send you the notes.
Okay. I've got a don't, and somebody watches this later, please.
What?
It's okay. But I am breaking my cardinal rule this weekend or next weekend. Don't bring someone hunting you've never hunted or anybody's hunted with that could vouch for them. We do have one new gentleman joining our trip this week. Excited to have him. I can't wait to meet him.
Okay.
Well, I've hunted with one of them. I've hunted with B More.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever hunted with B More.
Yeah.
Played golf with B More.
Duck hunt. We did duck hunt. It was a good hunt.
And
that
motherfucker has the craziest socks.
He's an interesting character. I mean,
I like him.
He's very entertaining.
I like him.
But we have another gentleman coming, and he's hunted with B More, I believe. So, we're gonna go with it. But if you invite somebody into the group, you need to really have somebody established that can really kind of vouch for them, especially when you're in a situation like I am in, because I set this hunt up every year with this outfitter, and this is kind of my name on the line with this thing. So I gotta be very careful. So,
we all got that one guy that, like, every time you get a group of buddies that goes out to go hunting, we're like, hey, I found this outfitter, let's do this. And you got a point man. David's the point man for LJ Blessings, and so every time that somebody walks onto that property, it's David's ass on the line. So
yeah, Nate
he drinks
Robinson.
a lot. I don't know who that is.
There's a reason he not invited back. Button buck.
Are we gonna get a story? I don't.
So, a good friend, hadn't done a lot of hunting.
Apparently not.
He is. He lives in Austin. He did some hunting up north where he's from, and had never seen big deer like this, right? And we had a spot we wanted to fill one year, and I said, hey, he's very holistic and very naturey. So, like, the idea of deer meat was very pleasant to him because it's not processed and all that stuff. And so he's like, yeah, I'd like to go. He's like, I got a shotgun. I'm like, okay. I said, well, you can borrow my rifle. So I'm not going to use it because I'm a bow hunter.
Slugging it?
No.
Slugging it from a bow blind?
I told him to bring it, and you could. I told him to bring it, but I figured we'd be better off if he's looking through a binocular and a scope
for sure
to see what he's shooting at.
Yeah.
So the first doe shot, ran 20 yards, perfect. The next doe he shot was not a doe. It was a button buck. And to Jim, that's a 200-inch deer, at least. So I'm walking up to this deer. He's all excited. I got another doe. We pick him up that evening. We're walking up. And mind you, it's after shooting light. It's not dark enough to need a flashlight, but it's dark enough to see what you're looking at. And I stopped in my tracks 30 yards from this deer and went, motherfucker. And he goes, what? And Bayless goes, what? And he keeps walking. Mike Bayless, you may see him too. He's a rifle hunter.
He's the guy in the intro that says, oh, dude.
Oh, dude. Yeah, he went and sat with.
I'm going to get him to sit with me again or sit with you or something because I honestly think he has the time of his life. I'm trying to convert him too. He's a damn good rifle hunter. He's got a good shot, but he needs to get a bow.
He'll have so much more fun.
So much more fun.
Anyways.
He had so much more fun sitting with me, shooting that little doe in 10 minutes. Yeah, anyway.
Mike turns and looks at me. He's like, what? And he walks another, 5 feet and goes, oh, shit. So, yeah. Nasty Nate Robinson did not pay.
Nasty Nate. Yep. There's a story there we don't have time for.
No, we're not talking about that one. But he got in trouble. Which means I got in trouble. But
it's been good the last few years, knock on wood.
Oh my God. This is a 1792 barrel.
They
didn't know?
They seen it. If they hadn't seen it, they can go see it.
Yeah, it's
look what you did.
I can fix that microphone. See all these technology things. I don't do well with that.
You're doing great. This just makes it better.
It just makes you feel legit. Too legit to quit.
Too legit to quit.
See,
what else?
I like this one.
That's okay.
Now, I guarantee you if I put this next to Evil Rare, you can't taste the difference.
Bull fucking shit.
You can't taste the difference. Now, you'll notice it's a younger bourbon, but the flavors are identical. Identical.
He doesn't know me. What other don'ts or do's? You got anything else you want to recap before I go into closing thoughts?
Don't tell your buddy you're coming over to grab some gear and expect to a decent time.
He's upset because he has to hang out with me and drink free bourbon and do a podcast. God forbid.
I'm not upset. I'm happy to be here.
Looks like it.
I am. But I do have a date tonight with my daughter. We're watching Enola Holmes Part 2.
What is that?
So it's I don't think it's a Netflix original. My daughter's not. No, sorry. My daughter's 10. And
the big double dig. Don't screw that up.
I know. And she saw this movie last year, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to watch this with me?" I'm like, "Sure." And it's kind of a girl power movie kind of thing,
Okay.
And Enola Holmes is Sherlock Holmes' younger sister.
Okay, I get it now. See, I'm thinking Holmes like roof.
No. And it was cute. It's a cute movie.
This is part 2.
This is part 2. Aired today, so we watched Enola Holmes again for like the 4th time last night to prepare for tonight.
That's cool, man.
Yep.
I'm excited for those moments with my daughter.
It is fun.
All right. We're going to close it, recap it up. It's been almost an hour, so we got a little bit more.
Oh, this will take 35, 40 minutes.
We got talking.
Oh, okay.
That's what a podcast is about. Chit-chatting.
So at what point do you think they stopped listening?
About minute 4.
Okay.
So this is just us
just to
chatting.
make sure.
Yeah, us chatting.
This is for our entertainment.
So we what was it? Smoke wagon. What was it? How much?
It should be around $35-$40 in your market. Retail.
I'm gonna go ahead and say buy it, and I realized that we didn't give it a rating.
Oh.
So I mean, Eagle Rare is a 10.0.
Yeah.
That's our deal.
Yeah.
Or that's my deal, at least, is a 10.0, no question.
Oh, yeah.
Smoke wagon, hot-wise, nicks it a couple points, but if you're not a bitch, like I am, flavor is good. I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100 proof versus 90. That's why you feel that way.
And you might rate it higher, or you might agree with me.
I'd give it a solid 8.
Solid, see, that's what I would take the 1.5 on hotness. I'm more of a 85 proof kind of guy.
Crossbow hunter. Sissy.
It's okay. All the things I've done. I get that shit.
The do's and the don'ts, right?
Don't hunt with a crossbow. That's the last don't I have for you. Unless you're physically impaired.
My dad bought a crossbow. He's never used it, though. He can't pull it back. He needs a crank.
Get him a crank. Let's go.
Yeah. He's got other ailments he needs to fix first.
It's fair. It's fair. There are a lot more things you should and shouldn't do in the woods than the 5 things that we covered for both things. Just don't do them or do them. Makes a lot of sense, right?
Sure.
Yep. Let me see. What else
Hand
we
me that
got?
bottle. Fucking weeded.
Comment below if you have any other do's and don'ts that I completely skipped over and you want to talk about, because I'll talk about them and whether I agree with them or don't agree with them. And quite frankly, I don't really care what you think about my opinion. I told somebody on TikTok that today.
Why are you sharing it then?
What do you mean?
I mean, that's not a bad bourbon, but not a whole lot of depth to the flavor. If you don't care what they think, why are you so inclined to share?
I like to share because the people that want to know things or want the knowledge about things that either agree or don't agree with me can have those things. Do I care that you don't agree with me? No, but at least I put it out there for what I like.
Yeah.
And maybe it helps somebody down the road, right? I don't really give a shit what people think that I put out. It's for those people that want to watch and listen and learn, or have disagreements with me or have agreements with me, like, oh man, I didn't think about that. I'm trying to grow a community of hunters and outdoorsmen like me and yourself that just want to be outside and want to hunt. If you're going to sit there and be toxic about it and tell me everything that I'm doing wrong because you're God Almighty, I don't give a shit. I'm going to continue to put my stuff out there. You know, that's my deal.
It's a good reason.
So that's the reason.
Yeah, it's a good reason.
So anyway, I'm off my soapbox. Last thing I want to talk about.
Don't shoot the shoulder, dumbass.
I like it. He's on my side. Did you see the walleye thing? It was a few weeks ago. Where they were in a walleye tournament and the dudes were like loading the stomachs with weights to get them.
Oh yeah,
you see that shit?
I saw that. I didn't know what fish it was, but yeah, he got busted.
Yeah, I mean it was a whole outdoors ordeal.
God, why?
Oh, I don't know.
Why?
It's on my thing to like just talk about it briefly because I really want to know why. Like I want to know what
I mean, I get they're in the tournament to win money, but I mean
cash prize, but still,
dude.
You don't think they're gonna figure it out?
Yeah.
You're walking up there with a 18, 20 pound walleye.
Yeah.
And maybe that's normal. I don't know anything about walleye fishing.
Apparently not at the length of the walleye was.
An 8-inch walleye. Oh, easy. I'm really not giving myself a whole lot.
That's what she thinks.
You're such a douche. An 8-inch walleye weighing 20 pounds. You know, I don't know anything about walleye fishing, so please correct me, but I don't know.
Yeah, that dude was not smart.
That was crazy. All right, I'm going to wrap it up.
Peace out.
I mean, we're not done yet.
Oh.
I have my question for next week. My question for next week: when sighting in a bow, how do you adjust your sight in order to line up your pins for where the arrows are landing?
Oh, I know this one.
He knows the answer. Do you guys know the answer? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for listening to another episode of Knocked Up After the Shot. Remember to like and subscribe. Go follow the Instagram. Go follow the TikTok. It's blowing up. You guys are doing great. If you get the trivia question correct, I don't know. Maybe I'll send you a hat or something. But I haven't had anybody comment the answers yet, which is kind of depressing. So I need somebody to comment other than David, because he knows the answer. And he already had. Shut up. He already has a hat. What you get? Did you get the answer correctly? For the first one to get the answer correctly, I'll send you a hat.
Maybe first one. Okay, I was going to say let's maybe limit this because how many hats do we have?
Yeah, first person to run down in the comments gets a hat. But we appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Go like that stuff. TikTok, we're blowing it out all the time. Instagram, we're blowing it all the time. YouTube, we're kind of rolling with it. So subs are awesome. But thank you for following everything and sticking with us. And remember, be still and don't suck, right?